Good afternoon. Greetings from Singapore. Today we are going to talk about men's health. This is the month of June, and this is the month where fathers, men are celebrated. So therefore, we focus on talking about men's health. So before we begin, let's go through the disclaimer. The session that we have here is meant for educational purpose, so I'm sharing from my own experience in using the Healy. So it should not be deemed as advice, as professional advice or recommendation from the company. So use your own judgment and your own personal experience as well to gauge whether what I share with you here is suitable for you. So Healy and MagHealy, they are not medical devices, but they can be used to support the bioenergetic field. All right, so what we do is we use the Healy and MagHealy to balance as well as to harmonize our bioenergetic field. So should you have any medical condition, please, you are reminded to seek professional advice, professional cure, treatment, and diagnosis. Okay, yeah. So this session here will be recorded and it will be published on the official social media of Healy World. So therefore, if you are asking questions later on, so please be mindful that you are recorded as well. And if you need Vietnamese translation, you can select in the interpretation, the symbol with the globe, select the language of your choice. If you have any issue with the translation, you can type in the chat. Otherwise, I will assume that everything is good. Hello again, my name is Christy Wong. I'm from Singapore. I've been using bioenergetic profiling devices to do life coaching for several years now, more than 8 years. Okay, and now I fully use just Healy and MagHealy to do the energetic profiling. Okay, so besides that, my background is I am an A-level biology educator. So therefore, today you will hear me talking about biology, men's biology. Okay, with a little bit of background from the meridians, and I've been doing training for many years now. Okay, so for those who want to dive deep into using the Healy and MagHealy, understanding the devices, understanding the programs, and if you're intending to use it to support and help other people, it is good to dive deeper so that you have the mastery, in using these devices. Okay, so I'm going to first talk about common man's issue, all right? Because those issues that are common to men and women, we have other sessions. So therefore, today's session is focused on men's common issues. All right, then I'll talk about how to use Healy and MagHealy to harmonize and support your body. And then after that, the last portion is about fertility issues for those who want to be parents. That is the aura module that will show you what are the signs as well, okay, that you are struggling with, okay? So we're talking about how to use frequencies to boost masculine confidence. Okay, now we'll move from head to toe, okay? It will be easier for me, more systematic. So I think a common problem that man faces is hair loss. Okay, so yeah, so the most common type are actually genetic. Okay, you see the what we call the male balding pattern. All right, So that is actually a genetic condition that is due to an excess amount of hormone dihydrotestosterone, okay, DHT. So DHT actually causes the hair follicles to shrink over time until the entire hair cell actually die. Okay, so it will start to drop off. So early intervention is required. So if you do see any of this uh, situation where it's already bald and there's no sign of follicles, that is a bit too late because all the follicles are already dead. Okay or not? So if you're still at the early stages where you can still see the follicles but showing sign of balding, and if you want to reverse the situation or delay the entire balding, you can use these programs here. All right, regeneration 1, 2, and 3 in bioenergetic vitalization. This is to stimulate the hair follicles, the stem cells. All right. Then after that will be supporting the energetic center around the head, which is the third eye and the crown chakras. Okay, then head as well, which is for the entire head, inclusive of hair for your mustache, etc., beard. So hair program in beauty, you can use that. And then the last one that we have over here is digital nutrition for hair. Okay, now the next issue that we encounter, including my own father, all right, so he also developed hearing loss as he aged. So it seems that statistically, this is a test done by UK. They compare UK results and all the rest of the world. So they find that there's a higher percentage of male who develop aging-related hearing loss, 34% in male versus 24 in female in UK. In the rest of the world, is 20% male and 30% female. Okay, so how to support your hearing? Now start early before even the symptoms are showing, because these days we do wear a lot of the earpiece, right? So we wear the earpiece to watch our social media, YouTube, etc. And then we also wear the earpiece while you are driving and while you are talking to people. So therefore, it is essential for us to protect the ears. Now, this particular program here is actually Digital Nutrition 1, Ear Harmony. So these are nutrition for the ears. And what is inside is vitamin B3, which is supplying the cells and tissues in the ear with ATP energy for it to function. Vitamin E is an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, so it actually protects the ears from noise-induced damage. Okay, manganese, this is a mineral. So this is actually to support the bones. You know, inside the ear, there are 3 tiny bones, and these bones are actually in contact with each other. So what happened is, as we age, right, the bones actually starts to shrink because it's like osteoporosis, wear and tear, and then it will also starts to shrink. So what happened is the vibration of one bone that is next to each other, this vibration will cause the other bone to vibrate, and then the third bone will also vibrate. So what happens is that's how the sound waves are actually transmitted or conducted. So if your bones in there are shrinking and they are not touching each other, so when one vibrate, the other one does not receive the vibration, and therefore it stops the transmission of the vibration, or it does not receive as strongly, the signal, so it vibrates less. So therefore, you start to lose your hearing over time. So that's manganese. And then potassium is for the ear fluid voltage. So inside the ear, there is a lot of fluid, which is actually for balance and for orientation. Zinc also, potassium and zinc. Okay. So this fluid here has charges, right? Because of the potassium and the zinc. So what happens is as you move, turn, the fluid will also move and turn as well. Okay or not? So it helps you to actually maintain your balance and know your orientation. Okay, so it is important for the auditory nerve. So these are nerve cells that actually transmit the vibration that it received to the brain to interpret the sound that you're receiving so that you can hear the sound, recognize people's voices, yeah, okay, and then know where the sound is actually coming from. Okay, yeah. Then the cochlear hair cells, this is actually for balance. And then some of us may actually develop tinnitus, which is actually ringing in the ears. Okay, so that is an indication of lack of zinc. Okay, and if you constantly get ear infection or if you swim a lot and the ear is constantly wet, so there might be infection. So zinc will also protect you from getting infection. So that's how you can use digital nutrition to protect your hearing. Okay, now the rest of it here has to do with supporting all the tissues. So the energetic center around here, crown, third eye is here. So this is where your ears are located in the upper half of your head. So you can also use head harmony in this is in bioenergetic harmony, and then the head program in MagHealy Classic. Okay, so that means you are covering the entire head. So all the tissues in the head. So balance here, balance body is for you to balance, which actually help the ear cells as well. And sound of silence is for you to hear. Okay, so these are programs that you can use. Okay. Now, then we go lower, okay? That comes to your nose and your breathing. And snoring or sleep apnea is a common problem in men as well, okay? So snoring is due to the weakening of the muscles around the tongue, throat, that whole respiratory tract, the nasal tract. Okay, so over time, because of aging, because you have less collagen, elastic tissues, so it starts to relax and not able to actually hold itself, contract. So therefore, the throat, the tongue tissue actually presses against the base when you actually lie down horizontally. And then the other one could be fatty deposits along the upper airways, nasal polyps, enlarged tonsils, okay, or your soft palate becomes low and thick. So this part of the airways as you breathe get blocked, so therefore it causes snoring. Okay, so you can use a skin program, okay, for polyps. Okay, the muscle here will actually tone the muscles along the throat, tongue muscles, all the muscles. Okay, large intestine is for those with nose block. If there is a constant, let's say, sinus, nose block, fluids, you can use the large intestine meridian. Throat chakra, okay, and even if you want to use the third eye, because these two are located in between the two chakras, so you can use them for energy booster as well. Then tonsil is for enlarged tonsils and the tissues around there. Okay, sinus, the rest here are in the MagHealy. Okay, sinus, Then you have brain and nerves. Brain and nerves here are for those with sleep apnea. Because sleep apnea, besides the snoring, right, it can actually cause the person to momentarily stop breathing. Yeah, so it's because of the signals, the disruption of the signal from the brain to the breathing centers. Okay, from the breathing centers to the tissues around the lungs and the nasal area. Okay, or not? So you can use brain and nerves. Okay, so when you see the black dot next to the program, that's obsidian, MagHealy obsidian. So deep breath is only found in MagHealy obsidian. You can use this to facilitate the breathing. Okay, so to ease the breathing, especially while you are sleeping. Okay, now then as we go further down, that will be your lungs. Okay, yeah, so men, I think, are more exposed to certain jobs where you are exposed to polluted air. Okay. Yeah. So it's not just because you are smoking, even if you are non-smokers, okay, you can be working in an environment where you can breathe in or inhale um, secondhand smoke. That's one. Or you could be exposed if you're an engineers, okay, or people whose work is linked to having to visit construction areas, or if you do, let's say, renovation, okay, houses, painting, okay, so these are jobs where you inhale a lot of toxic fumes, okay, not carpentry, a lot of sawdust, okay, tiny particles, all right, yeah. So, so if your job revolves around places like this, and many of the job requires you to drive around as well, so you're also exposed to car exhaust, okay? And then what else? Okay, so any of these jobs where it exposes you to a lot of air pollution, hazardous chemicals, so when you're breathing in a lot of all this, you have to protect and support your lungs. Okay, yeah. So how to support your lungs? Because long-term exposure to all this dust, uh, like fine particles, okay, even a chef, fumes, gases, toxic gases, okay, um, will subject yourself to the inflammation of the tissues. Okay, so and the irritation of your entire epithelial lining of your nasal tract. Okay, not so it can cause damage through inflammation over time. It can irritate so much that the tissue starts to produce a lot of phlegm, mucus. So you start to cough, or it is sensitive that it actually starts to constrict, okay, and therefore you feel either chest tightness, shortness of breath, wheezing, difficulty breathing. So the first thing to do is to use regularly, either every week, some of these programs where you clean your lungs with pure clean oil. Pure is gold cycle, clean oil is deep cycle, impurities is harmony. Okay, yeah, I received feedback that you do not know where some of these programs are. So in case I forgot to mention which program group, you look at the colors. So the colors, when you go to the menu, okay, of the pink app, you will see all the colors there, then you will be able to locate the programs. Okay, yeah, so cleaning. So this is where you can actually do the cleaning of your lungs. So after you clean, repair the surface. All right, you can repair the surface using, these are all the skin programs. Yeah, skin harmony, system, impurities. You see or not? Yeah. and the scar tissues that develop inside. Okay, then if not, you can also use the whole entire lung. So which one to use when there are too many programs that I put here? You follow your 5x5. Okay, so when you use the blue app to analyze the Healy 5x5, so certain programs, if it keeps appearing, then you will use those. Okay, because it will be more relevant to you. Healy will detect that. Okay, so for the entire lungs, it will be a lung harmony. This is in bioenergetic harmony, deep cycle, breath of life, meridian lungs, and then the obsidian, MagHealy, deep breath. Okay, so these are programs that can help those who have breathing difficulty or have high exposure to hazards. Yeah. Okay, now the next one, as we go lower, will be the kidney. Now, for men, the kidney is an organ that you must really, really support. I'll show you that a lot of the issues that I mentioned earlier are actually related to the kidney. Okay, so the kidney is connected to the genital system as well. Okay, so that's why it is called the urinogenital system. All right, so the urinal part will be the kidney connected to the bladder, and the bladder, this region here, is connected to the male sex organs. Okay, now how important is the kidney? Okay, now kidney, we know that it cleanses the blood. Okay, so of toxins, of extra salts, of impurities, heavy metals, etc. So any of the water-soluble impurities, it will be cleansed from the blood through the kidneys. Okay, yeah. So, and from the blood, after it is filtered, it then becomes urine. Okay. Now, the next thing about kidney is that it is the related to what we call innate or inborn source of energy. Okay, not? So it is the original source of what we call qi. Yeah? Yeah. So when your kidney starts to age, you will find that chronic fatigue will start to increase. Okay, or not? Yeah. So if you have been feeling fatigue, please do support your kidney. Now, kidney is connected to the brain function. Okay, yeah. So your cognitive function, that means your memory, like dementia, okay. And then what else? Your cognitive function, if you are slower, you find yourself slower in terms of thinking, in terms of problem solving, all those high order cognitive skills, brain skills, okay, support your kidney. Now, the other part that is associated with kidney is your ear, your sense of hearing, and your sense of balance. Okay, and then kidney produces hormones that signal to the bones to make blood as well, erythropoietin. So your red blood cells is actually connected to your kidney function. It's a hormonal function. And then, osteoporosis, bone aging, degeneration is actually related to kidney as well, because bone cells, the bone marrow, okay, is also under the influence from the kidney. And then your sex organs, any of your sexual issues is also tied back to your kidney as well. If you can't sleep at night, okay, one of the reason is frequent urination, so it's back to the kidney. And the other one is, okay, also related to the quality of your sleep, kidney. So, yeah. Okay, because sleep, if you see kidney, your heart, and your liver appearing in your 5x5, so these three actually govern the quality of your sleep. So kidney can also affect your sleep. Now, kidney, from the emotional perspective, is actually fear. So if you constantly feel fear, your kidney will weaken. Okay? Yeah. So as your kidney weakens, fear will also increase. So these will feed each other, no? Yeah. So fear, stress. And for men, unlike women, women is very easy for us to say that, I'm fearful. Okay, I'm fearful of my future. I'm fearful for my health. I'm fearful of uh finances, etc. Okay, yeah. So I think it's easier for women to admit that, but for men, it's not so easy because you're at the head of the family, you are the provider. Okay, men represent courage, represent a shoulder for women to lean on. Okay, so therefore, yeah, there is a uh, certain sense of responsibility that you don't feel that you want to talk about that. So it becomes suppress stress in your body, and it will actually affect your kidney. Okay, now? And then the next one that is quite common is urinary incontinence. Now, all these issues are tied to one problem, which is the kidney. Okay or not? Now, I have recently profiled one person. She came to me and she said that her father has many issues, is taking so many types of medication, and every year you're going to see so many doctors because he has so many issues. But as I go through the analysis result from using the Healy, so I showed her now, look at the whole thing. Okay, do you see how many kidney and kidney related programs are appearing in the 5 by 5? Yeah, so they are actually related. All these problems is related. So I said your father has one major problem, which is the kidney. So if you support the kidney, you are actually supporting all this, because kidney issues, kidney failure will not straight away appear as a chronic kidney disease, CKD. Okay, the body gives you a lot of warning. It gives you a lot of warning. So it actually weakens the less important parts of your body first before kidney, before the actual organ itself. Okay, so the very first sign is what? The very first sign is, okay, your energy starts to drop. Okay, then the next sign may be hearing. Okay, or the next sign could be, sexual issues. Yeah. So slowly, all this will start to deteriorate, decline, okay, before it will actually affect the kidney. So the rest of what we call the associated organs actually take the hit first, okay, because from the perspective of survival, that means in order to keep the body alive, the kidney must function. Okay, now, if you can't hear, you can still function, you can still live. So that's why there will be decline in other areas first before your life is threatened. Okay or not? So take heed, take note when other areas like this starts to give you the signal. Okay or not? Now, statistics have shown that women are more likely to have chronic kidney disease, CKD, but men are more likely to die from CKD or require extreme intervention such as dialysis. Okay, you know why? Because one is women, okay, our nature is we magnify. Okay, a small problem, a small pain, we actually magnify and then we quickly do something about it. All right? A man is opposite. Man will make things smaller. Okay or not? You have a big problem, but then they will tend to make it smaller. Okay, so therefore they tend to ignore signs and signals like this. Okay, that the body is getting. So you tend to brush it off. All right. So now that you know about all this, don't brush away all the little signals. Okay, or not? So these are the programs that you can use. Okay. So the top row, this one is from the MagHealy. So now you know why that whenever you see kidney will always show kidney male, kidney female, because the sex organ is associated with the kidney. Okay, so night harmony male is in the obsidian, bladder for urinary incontinence or frequent urination, and then the two kidneys here. All right, so one is from water, and then this one here is from MagHealy. So use them regularly once a week to support your kidneys. Then to support the cleansing function, because our body are exposed to lots of toxins. So you can use Gold Cycle Pure, and this is under Cell Wave Purify. You can use this. Then to support the kidney from the Healy, the first one is the digital nutrition or kidney. All right. Then meridians, bladder, kidney, and then deep cycle kidney. So you can use kidney male, kidney female, whichever that appear in your 5x5. Okay, if it does not appear, if it's by choice, then you choose kidney male. Okay, all right, so next we come to the preoccupation, the most important concern that most men have, and that is sex-related issue. Okay, so the first one is libido, sex drive. Sex drive. Now, men usually have no issue with sex drive, okay? Unless if your emotions, okay, drains you. Okay or not? Yeah, and it is good to use when you feel that, it is good to use job. Okay, all these programs here is for job. Activation is when you feel unmotivated to get up in the morning, unmotivated to go to work, okay, and motivated for sex. So you can use activation. Okay. Positive thoughts, if you're starting to feel negative. So sometimes it may be related to marital issues, relationship issues. Yeah. Then balanced nerves. These are for trauma related issues. Either is related to sex or relationship, your fatigue from physical work, and then exhaustion here and fatigue. What's the difference? Fatigue is actually your energy for physical work, but exhaustion is actually your energy being drained because of entanglements with emotions related issues. Okay or not? Yeah, especially in a relationship with family members. Yeah, so they actually drain you. Okay, because you have to deal with all the drama. So that's exhaustion. Okay or not? Extreme tension will be conflict related issues. Okay, that distract you. Okay, now then you have the first half here is actually from MagHealy. You can, if you face relationship issues, tension, you can use family harmony or even relationship. This is in the MagHealy Atmosphere program. Okay, then the rest is actually related to emotions, trauma, emotions, because you're being drained by all that, or igniting the emotions that you need, the feelings that you need to be able to feel the emotions will be emotions, not only to remove the negative emotions, but to cultivate, encourage more positive emotions. Thalamus here is also the gateway for your emotions. Vagus is to help you to relax. Okay, yeah. So that is actually to remove the tension, relax. Yeah. Then brain, nerve, brain is your happy hormones, dopamine, okay, serotonin. So that comes from your brain because only when you feel happy that you will want to engage in sexual activity. All right. So nerves also neurosecretion as well as trauma-related experiences. Then the bottom here, this is from digital nutrition. Okay. Now, although in this modern life, we seems to be eating better, more expensive food, more high quality food, but yet our body, our cells is not getting enough of the correct nutrition. Okay, so these are nutrition that you can actually use to support your health. Passion. Passion here is not just sexual passion, but it's basically passion for life. Okay, you feel motivated, you feel driven. Okay, sports and men, these are actually to encourage testosterone, okay, sportsmen. So that's also one of the sex hormone. Joy of life, hormonal here for your testosterone, prostaglandins, and then libido. Okay, so these are nutrients that will help you to produce the necessary chemicals in the body, okay, to promote sexual desire. Okay, so now we come to the male sex organs. So these are the key organs and tissue related to the male sex organ. Okay, so we start from here. Actually, we start from the bottom here, the testis. Okay, so from the testis, this is where sperm is produced. It moves through this tube here all the way and to the prostate gland, seminal vesicles. These two actually secretes fluids, okay, that will activate the sperm. And then after that, it comes out through the urethra, okay, for delivery. Okay, so let's look at the testis first. Okay, I'll show you a few videos. Okay, now testis, oval shape. This is the site where sperm is produced, and this is also the site where testosterone is produced. Okay, now sometimes they also produce small quantities of female, supposedly what we call female hormones like estrogen as well. Okay, or not? Yeah. So I'm going to let you watch the video of what happens in the testis biologically. So the sound, you have to adjust it yourself, whether it's too loud or too soft. Okay, I'm going to play it.
The testicles, two small organs housed within the scrotum, often reduced to reproduction alone, yet essential to hormone balance, development, and fertility. They produce sperm, the reproductive cells required for conception, through a continuous process called spermatogenesis, where new cells are formed, mature, and prepared for release. Inside each testicle are tightly coiled structures called seminiferous tubules, where this process begins. There, germ cells divide, differentiate, and gradually develop into mature sperm, supported by specialized cells that help regulate their growth. But the testicles do more than produce sperm. They are also the body's primary source of testosterone, a hormone that influences muscle mass, bone density, energy, red blood cell production, and sexual development. This hormone is released into the bloodstream and helps regulate functions throughout the body, far beyond reproduction alone. To work properly, the testicles must remain slightly cooler than core body temperature, which is why they are positioned outside the body within the scrotum. This temperature control is critical for healthy sperm production and stable function. They also respond to signals from the brain, which help control both hormone output and sperm development through a tightly regulated system. Quiet, sensitive, and biologically essential, the testicles are more than reproductive organs. They are hormone-producing structures, fertility centers, and key regulators of male physiology.
Okay, beautiful. I love the animation. Okay, it's simple, and then it's clear, and then the visuals are fantastic. Okay, now if you want to improve on the sperm count, so now we are getting into fertility, it will be the testicles, okay, or the testes, sperm quantity or related to sperm count, okay. Now, although here is stated as prostate, somehow it is more pleasant to hear the word prostate than testicles or testis. So therefore, if you search through the entire menu of Healy and MagHealy, you will not find the word testicles or testis. But nonetheless, okay, when you talk about the prostate programs, it's incorporated inside as well. Okay or not? Yeah. So potency, vitality is related because potency, vitality has to do with testosterone. Okay, so for men, where do you get that strength, from? Is actually from the testosterone. So that's why men are physically much stronger than women. So potency, vitality, prostate programs. So the top one is from Healy, Bioenergetic Harmony, and then kidney, male. Okay, so because the sex organ are related, so therefore you need not just focus on the sex organ. By supporting your kidney, you're actually supporting your sex organ as well. So all the frequency related to the sex organ is incorporated inside this program here in Deep Cycle H, kidney, male. So the bottom one, all this is found in the MagHealy. You can use Vitality in Classic, and then MagMakin Prostate, and then MagMakin Plus. This one is in Obsidian Night Male. Okay, next we go to the prostate. Prostate. This is about the size of walnut and immediately just below the bladder. Okay or not? Yeah, so it actually surrounds the urethra. So sometimes as we age, so what happens is prostate enlargement can actually press against the urethra and therefore cause urinary issues, either painful urination or difficulty in urination. Okay, so let's watch a video to show you their functions. Okay, not? So this is related to all prostate issues. Okay, let's watch.
The prostate, a small gland located below the bladder, surrounding the urethra, often overlooked, yet essential to reproductive function. It produces fluid that becomes part of semen, a nutrient-rich solution that helps protect and transport sperm. This fluid contains enzymes, proteins, and minerals that support sperm survival and improve mobility as they travel. During ejaculation, the prostate contracts, releasing this fluid into the urethra, where it mixes with sperm and other secretions. But the prostate does more than produce. It helps regulate flow. Because it surrounds the urethra, it can influence how urine and semen pass, coordinating function between the urinary and reproductive systems. With age, the prostate can change. It may enlarge, altering pressure on the urethra, affecting urinary flow and control. And like many tissues, its cells respond to hormones, especially testosterone, which influence its growth and activity. Small, glandular, and strategically placed, the prostate is more than a reproductive accessory. It is a fluid producer, a flow regulator, and a key contributor to male reproductive biology.
Okay, so what is the role of prostate in fertility? Just now, the testis is where the sperm are produced and mature, okay? But, the sperm has a tail, right? It is not able to swim, it's not able to move its tail. So from the testis to the prostate, it is actually the vas deferens, the tube that you see. So it's the muscles around the vas deferens that is actually constricting, okay, that pushes the sperm towards the prostate area, that region. Okay, not? Yeah. The prostate together with the seminal vesicle, what do they produce? One is they produce nutrients, okay, that actually feeds the sperms. Okay. Now, secondly, they produce fluid that has the pH that is suitable to keep them alive, active. So sperm becomes active. Okay, that means they start moving their tail and starts to be able to move only when the sperm mixes with the fluid from the prostate and the seminal vesicle. Cannot. Plus, it has to be alkaline so that the ejaculate when it enters the vagina. Vagina is actually acidic. So the acid can actually be harmful to the sperm. So the prostate fluid, seminal fluid in total will become slightly alkaline to neutralize the acid. Okay. And also to break down the thick mucus in the female reproductive tract, okay, the female tract, so as to make it easy for the sperm to actually swim and move up the entire canal. Okay, not? Yeah. So this is the part for sperm quality. Sperm quality means whether they can swim or not, whether they can move or not. Okay or not? Yeah. So for this, you need the prostate that I mentioned, and then the potency that you can use. Same, you see that it's actually the same programs that you see just now as the testis. Okay. Yeah, but this is just to differentiate for you the function of the two different tissues. Okay, now next come the purpose of erection. So maintaining an erection is necessary for sperm delivery. Okay or not? Yeah. So for this, you know that the tissues in the penis here is engorged with blood. So a lot of blood vessels here, so therefore use all the circulation program. Okay or not? Yeah. So the first one is meridian circulation, bioenergetic harmony circulation. Then you can use soft tissue in MagHealy. Okay, and the rest is supporting the kidney. Whenever you support the kidney, you also support the male sex organs. Okay, so everything is all related, the full set of frequency. Okay, then for ejaculation, okay, you will need a different set of programs here. Okay, so this is also part of sperm delivery as well. Okay or not? So when it comes to fertility, there's so many aspects. The amount, sperm count, sperm quality, sperm delivery. So now I'll let you watch another video on the tissues that you need for ejaculation to
Pre-ejaculate comes from tiny but powerful glands called cowpers or bulbourethral glands. Two small pea-sized glands that are located just below the prostate and superior to the bulb of the penis and are connected to the urethra by tiny ducts. They are homologous to Bartholin glands in females, which also produce lubricating fluid. These glands are activated during sexual arousal, driven by signals from the brain. Sexual arousal begins with erotic thoughts, touch, or visual stimuli, activating brain regions like the limbic system, which governs emotions and arousal. The brain sends signals through the spinal cord to the pelvic nerves, increasing blood flow to the pelvic region. This causes the erectile tissues, or corpora cavernosa, in the penis to fill with blood, resulting in an erection.
Okay. Yeah. Very cute, huh? The way they symbolizes erection. Okay, so you see that you need the brain. All right, so this is actually from the bottom half here is from MagHealy. So all these are related. So happy hormones, all these are necessary for the entire coordination. Okay, so that's why when he talks about the limbic system, all that, this is all part of your thalamus, part of your brain. So the nerves, and then relaxation, vagus, and then the energy that is required, vitality, tiredness, all this. Okay. Then the upper half here, this is actually in the Healy. So the yellow ones is the fitness program, and then the green one here, nerve harmony, is actually in bioenergetic harmony. Okay, so nerve, you saw how you need the coordination of the nerve. Okay, because the pleasure senses, okay, so the nervous stimulation can help to trigger chemicals in the brain that brings about sexual pleasure. Okay, and then at the same time will be the coordination with the tissues in the penis, okay, to ejaculate. So everything, orgasm and all that has to be coordinated. So that's why you need nerves, you have the brain, and then you have all these muscles here that is needed for the ejaculatory process. Okay? Yeah. All right. So, okay. So that covers the fertility part. So when biologists, the students, every time when we talk about sexual reproduction, the students will always say they look forward to the topic. But once they come to the topic, they say, why is it so boring? Yeah, because you have a biologist talking about the biology of sex, not the art of sex. I always tell them I teach biology of sex, not the art of sex. So boring. Okay, now, then how else to protect? How else to protect the sex organs? You can also use the chakra because that's the energy center. Okay, root chakra is right at the bottom where the sex organ is, and then sacral chakra is below the belly button. All right, sacral. Yeah, so these two energize the energy center so that the tissues around here will be healthy. So if you want healthy children, then all your tissues here must be healthy. Okay? Yeah. Then meridians, which are the meridians that passes through the male sex organs? You have the kidney, okay, 11 to 13. Now, why do I put the acupoints here? This is when you use the MagHealy meridian analysis. Okay, use that because if any of these meridians appear, kidney, stomach, liver, spleen, and look at the acupoints where the emotions is indicated. Because if that emotions is stuck in any of these acupoints shown here, that means the emotions is actually blocking the chi or the bioenergy around this region here. So which means that over time, if those emotions are not released, okay, the blockage go deeper, deeper, deeper until it's going to affect the tissues around here. Okay or not? So therefore, if you want to solve issues related to sexual function, let's say erectile dysfunction, ejaculation issues, and all that, it's not just the organ itself, but you have to unblock the energy flow as well as the energy centers. Okay, if you if you're planning to start your family and all that, make sure that all these regions are clear from all these emotions if you want healthy children, because otherwise they will inherit. So all your emotions here will then go into the sperm and then transmitted to your children. All right, it's inherited. So clear that. Okay. Now, those who come to me with plans for fertility, to start a family, and they have fertility issues, often they tell me that they have done a lot of checks. Nothing seems to be wrong, or if they have any issues, they have already fixed the issues, but yet still unable to conceive. All right. So if there have been past trauma or inherited trauma in the family, you may want to use the aura module. Okay, use the blue app, Healy, and the aura module to check whether or not there are emotions that is related to why you are not able to procreate. Now, also look at your relationship with your children. If there are issues with regards to parenting your children, or if you're running away from the responsibility of parenting, there could be issues that may be highlighted here. Now, these issues, it's not that you just first time take the aura analysis and it will show. No, this is aura analysis is something that you have to do regularly over a period of time. Now, let's say if you do it daily in 30 days, you will see some of these issues will appear in your results. Okay, so it is actually indicating to you some of the hidden issues that you may have with regards to parenthood or parenting. All right, that means subconsciously you are resisting, so that's why it's not happening. Okay, that means unable to procreate, etc. Okay, intellectual idea of parenthood, okay, or you see procreation as just part of the role in life and you lack the emotions, meaning that you leave the parenting to somebody else, okay, to one of the partner. That means you can leave the parenting to your wife, okay, or your wife leave the parenting to you, or leave the parenting to grandparents, okay, they go out to work and they don't seem that attached. Yeah, so these are some of the issues, maybe the underlying reason. Okay or not? Now, some see parenthood as a completion, meaning that if they are unable to procreate, they feel that they are incomplete. Okay or not? Yeah. So some of these feelings may be tied to it. So it gives you a lot of unnecessary stress. And when you're stressed, okay, it makes it even harder to conceive, yeah, or even to enjoy the sexual intimacy with your partner. Okay, yeah. So here, fear of parenthood. Okay, so it can show in different things. Either they choose to be single, or they are married but they choose not to procreate. Okay, nowadays I see couples choosing to become pet parents, okay, instead of human parents. Yeah. Then insecurity with regards to the responsibility, okay, because it's a lifelong responsibility. So sometimes either of the partner or both partners have fears, they're not ready. And then over here is as you vibrate, you see that okay, you're more and more willing to accept the responsibility for the new life. Then you start to see the change. So that means at the energetic level, if you're unable to conceive, it's because of some of these unconscious or subconscious resistance. Okay, but once you clear and remove this resistance, you become aware, then you look at the issues and then evaluate your life, okay, examine which are the areas, work on it, okay, see a counselor or continue to use the Healy, then to resolve these issues before you welcome a baby into your life. Okay, then related to sexuality, sexual experience. Okay, because some has gone through trauma that is related to abuse, harassment, so therefore they cannot enjoy sexual intimacy. So these could be some of the underlying issues. All right, so if let's say you are a counselor, if you are a healer, or if you are working with people with all these issues, you can also use the aura analysis to analyze and then identify the problems from there. Okay, all right. Now, this one here, it was one of the questions that was raised some time ago. So one of the Healy user asked me to talk about this. This is gynecomastia. That means men with breasts. Yeah, so you can see that some of the men, if they are obese, you can actually see their breasts. Okay, yeah, this is because of hormonal imbalance. It's actually hormonal imbalance. There is too much estrogen because the female hormone estrogen, okay, is actually for breast development. Okay, so female, we also have testosterone. So male, you will also have testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. Okay, all three. But in terms of the ratio, you tend to have more testosterone than estrogen, etc., and progesterone. Okay, so this condition here is because there is too much estrogen relative to testosterone. So this can be counterbalanced with nutrition that is required to synthesize, to make the testosterone. Now, sometimes the imbalance can be caused by medication, anabolic steroids, anti-androgens, that means medications that actually inhibit the production of testosterone, okay, or it could be due to prostate cancer. Okay, other medical reasons would be issues elsewhere that is disrupting the hormonal balance. For example, liver hardening, liver cirrhosis, kidney failure, thyroid-related issues, okay, or substance abuse. Okay, yeah, recreational drugs, alcohol. So this can actually disrupt the hormonal balance in the body. Okay, not so for that, you will use hormone-related programs. So you may get, sometimes you may get mature women, because mature women is for menopausal women who are low in estrogen, progesterone. Okay, so this is a booster for that. If you're too high, then you want to balance. So sometimes you may get kidney female. All right, yeah. So all these programs here, bioenergetic harmony hormone, meridian hormone, all these can be used to balance all the hormones in your body. Okay, so symptoms of hormonal imbalance will be mood swing and breast development. Okay. Now, this is a frequently asked question. They will ask me when they do their 5x5, why do men get ovary or mature women, or they get kidney female, night female? So why do they get these programs? Okay, yeah. So you will know by now, men also have estrogen, progesterone. It's low, but if it is too low, it's also no good. All right. If it's too high, they become more effeminate, meaning that they show traits of women. Okay. Even in terms of their willpower, okay, decision making, All this, if they find that they have difficulty making decisions, become more reliant on people, these are signs that they have too much female hormones. Okay, if they have too little, then they become too aggressive, or it may have all these issues as well. Too little. Low estrogen will lead to bone issues, osteoporosis, infertility, low sperm count, and then sexual libido, erectile issues, moodiness, and then metabolic issues. They become obese. Okay, now if progesterone is too low, then the infertility is in terms of the sperm maturation. That means the sperm cannot mature to become functional. Metabolic also will be low, and then sleep issues, they become moody, and then they will develop breast as well. Okay, yeah, so I hope I've covered most of the common issues. Okay, if there are issues that I missed out, you can also ask in the questions. All right. Okay, so for all the programs, delivery methods, there are a few. You can use the electrodes. If there are no metals in the body, you can use the coil, or you can use the high wave. Okay, yeah, so these are different delivery methods. And if you have any good experience with Healy, so you are also invited to share.